Do you guys remember a number of years ago where I believe it was an executive from EA that said all games should be games as a service because you should totally like what we want you to like or something like that. Welcome to Coffee and RPGs, everyone. My name is Solomon SK, and in today's video we will be going over some of the more anticipated single player games for the year 2022 and 2023, because sometimes you just don't really want to deal with other people or the developers or publishers themselves. With that being said, you guys know that we do love our coffee here, so if you guys got your cup with your beverage of choice, let's go ahead and cover this list together. Cheers to you guys.
Become a part of the collective and acquire true superpowers.
Hey soldier, wake up. You okay?
I'm okay.
Get up.
Want to learn Chinese in 5 minutes? Or maybe get a PhD in quantum...
So just really quick, there is no particular order when it comes to this list, but I did want to start off pretty strong, and Atomic Heart is a game that I'm really anticipating. That's using that retro futurism look and style and feel very similar to what you see in the Fallout series. But this game has that Cold War era communist Soviet Russia twist to things, and seeing their interpretation of a game that's in the future but also in the past makes it aesthetically pleasing but also very scary in certain parts of the game. And this game will definitely cater towards those who are into sci-fi action RPGs. We unfortunately don't have a release date for this game. It just says TBA for now, but I'm guessing it might come around sometime in 2023. I'd be surprised if it actually took a little more than that. But in any event, there is a Discord for this game if you want to go ahead and join them to keep up to date with everything that's going on with this game.
Wait, what the bloody hell is going on?
The robots are out of control. They're killing everyone.
We know who's behind this.
You have to stop this nightmare now.
Humanity is doomed to eternal slavery.
If I could describe these last few years, the one word that I could think of is nostalgia. As many of us are getting older, a lot of things like vaporwave and retro wave, synthwave, and even Soviet wave has been getting a lot of popularities these days. Enter the game American Theft 80s, and yeah, it does kind of look like a Grand Theft Auto taking place during the 1980s, but that's not necessarily a bad thing in my opinion. I mean, their description is plain and simple. It's the 80s. Steal VCRs, tapes, classic cars, and if you get caught, outrun the police. You're also able to use stealth and parkour. Conversation is also a tag, so maybe you could actually talk yourself out of a situation. It also has the tag open world and sandbox, which is always great, especially if you're somebody who wants to do their own thing. And yeah, I'm really anticipating this one too, again, because of the nostalgic factor more so than anything else. And just like Atomic Hearts, there is no solid release date for this game. It just says coming soon, but I really hope it does mean coming soon. Next on our list is a game called Flintlock, the Siege of Dawn, and this is going to cater more towards those of you who like Souls-like games, especially coming off the popularity that is Elden Ring. And like Elden Ring, this will also be an action RPG that has an open world adventure for you as well. Now, it does say here that it has a planned release date of 2022, which is this year, but I'm really hoping that we'll get some actual footage of the gameplay rather than some animated cinematic trailer, which I mean, admittedly still looks pretty cool.
Some of the key features of this demo. Much of what you see was built with Quixel Megascan assets, but instead of using the game versions, We used the cinematic versions, which would typically only be used in...
Next, we got The Witcher 4, which was just announced a few weeks ago. And unfortunately, we actually don't have a whole lot of information other than the fact that CD Projekt Red is actually working closely with Epic Games because The Witcher will now be on the Unreal Engine 5. Now, I'm not exactly sure why they ditched their own proprietary engine for the Unreal Engine 5, but considering how amazing the Unreal Engine 5 looks and just feels, I have no complaints overall. They did describe this relationship as a multi-year strategic partnership with Epic Games, which may sound amazing until you might think, oh wait, this is probably going to be another timed exclusive on the Epic platform that nobody wants. I don't know. I'm hoping that's not the case. I guess anything's possible, but again, still too early to say, considering this game probably won't even be coming out until maybe 2024, maybe even 2025, who knows. But you know what, I'm just going to include it here anyways, just because you never know.
Gollum's long chase for his precious ring has never been told in detail, yet his incredible journey from Mordor through Mirkwood to the mines of Moria takes players to places they haven't seen like this before, while setting the stage for events that will ultimately decide the fate of...
Do you guys remember seeing that Dr. Phil episode where you saw that woman carry a card cutout of Gollum and it would take it out wherever she went as if it was like an actual person and order food for it? I don't know. That's the first thing I think of when I think of Gollum. But anyways, yes, this game is still in development. It was announced a number of years ago, but unfortunately, we haven't seen or heard a whole lot from the development of this game. But yes, this will be a story-driven action game where you get to play as Gollum himself. And considering how big Lord of the Rings is, especially with the new Netflix series coming out, I'm really hoping maybe this game will come out during the same time. Who really knows? But from the tags, as you can see here, it will include stealth, platforming, puzzles, combat, and your choices do matter, so soon maybe it will have multiple endings. And as for when this game is finally going to come out, it just says lurking until the time is right, so who really knows?
In our very own artistic style. From his time in the slave pits of the Dark Tower to his stay with the Elves of Mirkwood, Gollum will creep, sneak, and trick his way past faithful, detailed environments, some of which have never been seen before in such detail. The Lord of the Rings Gollum is a cinematic stealth action adventure. It mixes stealth and parkour gameplay and really leverages Daedelic's expertise in crafting engaging stories. Gollum is no traditional hero. He's learned not to take any sides other than his own, and some of the most powerful beings in Middle-earth.
They say.
You guys already know that I had to include Starfield, so I won't spend a whole lot of time with this one considering it's one of the most anticipated games so far for 2022. Now, we actually don't have a whole lot of information, been getting some tidbits here and there, but I'm hoping for a new trailer, like actual gameplay footage trailer for this game, because we have this epic cinematic, which again, I could probably watch over and over again just because I'm so highly anticipated for this game. But anyways, I'll just leave it at that just because everybody pretty much knows what this game is.
Our game is set in the year 2330, in a relatively small pocket of the Milky Way, in an area that extends outward from our solar system for approximately 50 light years. Around 20 years before the start of the game, the two largest factions in the settled systems, the United Colonies and Freestar Collective, engaged in the bloody Colony War. Today, the major factions enjoy an uneasy peace, but the
Every portal is a chance for salvation. Uniting the lost survivors.
Yes, it's another survival game, but the reason why this particular one sticks out is because it caters towards those of you who are fans of the Victorian era. Heck, some people are actually calling this game Victorian fantasy. You know, I always thought Fable 3 was a Victorian game, but I was I was wrong apparently, and I got grilled for it. But yeah, those little subtle things you can't, I don't know, they all just look the same to me. Anyways, now this game does have multiplayer functionality as well, but I would assume just because it does have the single player tag that you could actually turn off online mode and just play by yourself if you wanted to. But if you're looking for something a little different, maybe you're just getting a little sick of Valheim or DayZ, Last Oasis and Conan, and the list goes on and on. Hopefully this game is different enough to actually keep things a little different and a little fresh from a survival market that's completely saturated in my opinion. Now if you want to take a look at this game as it stands, there is an early access version of this game, but this game is set to be released by the end of this year of 2022.
Our beacon of hope, but beyond our reach. As long as we stand together, our journey will unite us.
Terror, all I feel.
Now this next game called Hell Is Us really stood out because of its very unusual imagery as you saw in that trailer. Now this game does look very similar to Death Stranding in terms of its atmospheric level designs and whatnot, but yeah, I'm kind of getting horror vibes from this one, which I don't do particularly well with. But if you're somebody who loves to play games that involves the paranormal and demons and whatnot, this game is certainly for you. Now something a little different from this list, and this is going to be a vehicular combat game called Metal Max Xeno Reborn. Now this is going to be a turn-based JRPG. I believe they did this to kind of go back to sort of its JRPG roots, and even though that's a little bit of a turnoff for a lot of people, I think it could still be a lot of fun considering these are the type of games that I used to play back in the 90s and early 2000s and whatnot. Now this game is around the corner as of recording of this video and will be released on June 10th of this year. Now the next game in the list here is Asterigos, Curse of the Stars, and even though the game kind of looks a little fluffy, a little bubbly with its vibrant colors and even its sort of cartoony style, it does have the Souls-like tag on it, and so just assume this game might be hard despite the way it looks. Now this is an action RPG inspired by Greek and Roman mythology, if that's sort of your thing, and this game is slated to come out in the fall of 2022. Before I let you guys go, I just wanted to let you know that this video is going to be a multi-video series. These are just only 10 of 50, maybe even 60 games that I have in store to show you guys of all the wonderful single player games coming out for this year and 2023. Also consider watching my other video where I cover the top open world RPGs, and you are going to see some games that I covered there in that video with this video as well. There are going to be some overlap here and there, but overall I think it's a really good list. Anyways everyone, I want to thank you so much if you made it with me so far because the watch time significantly helps with the algorithms. But anyways everyone, I will finally let you guys go. Hope you guys have a blessed night and I will see you guys next time. Cheers again everyone.